Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel. And this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we are going to be ranting about 3 things that we did like from last year and 3 things that we didn't like from last year. Be warned, if you are adverse to profanity, then I would suggest that you fucking switch off now or forever hold your peace. Still here? Let's crack on. So the first thing that we really enjoyed about last year is that we finally cracked 20,000 subscribers, and I think at the moment we are closing in on 21,000 or something like that. And it always astonishes me how fucking stupid you've got to be to want to subscribe to some aging old ginger fart waffling on about fucking board games, yeah? You bunch of saps. But yeah, 20,000 subscribers is another milestone. Don't really mean anything, does it? Because most people that subscribe to YouTube channels never watch this shit in the first place, yeah? I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. I've subscribed to loads of channels that I never watch. So normally only about 10% of you fuckers actually bother to watch me talk shit. But anyway, that's a milestone, innit? And who knows where we're going to go with it. Maybe we'll hit 30,000 next year. I don't know. And I don't really give a fuck. So the first thing that we didn't like about last year is that there was loads and loads and loads of shit games released, yeah? Let's be honest, yeah? It wasn't that much of a good year compared to other years. There were some notable standout games that were released. The 2 gems that stood out were The Last Kingdom and Station 4, but we just didn't really get the feeling that designers were pushing the boat out or taking any risks. If anything, designers don't want to take risks anymore. They're too scared of certain groups of people shouting their work down, saying, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, so they don't do it. And what is meant to be more diverse actually becomes more homogenous, right? So yeah, there was oodles and oodles of shit games. I mean, this year we've probably got rid of more games than we've bought this year. And I'm talking about games that we bought and then we thought they were dog shit, so we moved them on. So we haven't really done that in previous years. We haven't really bought games, new games, and then got rid of them in the same year. But this year it's been a little bit different, right? So yeah, loads and loads of shit games, not that much of a good year, right? So the next thing that we didn't like about this year, this is a bit of a higgledy-piggledy list, yeah, it's not in any order. I'm not going to go through all the likes and then all the dislikes, yeah, because I'm trying to make this a coherent video, right? But games have become really, really expensive, yeah? I mean, I think I said this last year, I think I say every year. It's got to the point now that I really do feel like I'm being priced out of the hobby, yeah? I literally can't afford to keep buying games that are like 80 quid, 90 quid even, you know? I mean, my wife bought me a copy of Voidfall. I avoided it because of the exorbitant price tag. I think some retailers were asking like 90 quid for it, and she picked it up. I think she got a little bit cheaper, but she picked it up and I opened the box. There's no way that there's 90 quid's worth of components in that box. Yeah, it's just a few tiles. You don't even get plastic miniatures, you get these sort of plastic orange things that look like someone's taken a dump off a pier, you know? So games have got ridiculously expensive, and it just pisses me off that where I've been playing games since the 70s, yeah, it's almost like they're making you feel like you're not worthy of their attention anymore just because you just don't earn enough money, you know what I mean? So the second thing that we liked about last year is because of that, we actually saved a load of fucking money, yeah? We didn't spend half as much as we have done on games from previous years. We ended up scouring the bargain bins and buying used games, basically. So I understand why publishers have bumped their money up. You know, the profit margins and shit like that have been decreased throughout the world for various different things. But it doesn't stop the fact that the end user ends up paying more. And in the end, they're just not going to be able to afford it, so they're not going to do it, right? So we ended up just saving our money, buying second-hand games, which there are plenty of, I might add, yeah. There's plenty of different social media groups or different meetups where you can get the latest Kickstarter games that people have bought, and then they realise that they've maxed out their fucking credit card like a fucking numpty. So yeah, we saved shitloads of money. We haven't really bought that many new games this year, and when we do buy new games, then it's games that we're going to play again and again, you know what I mean? So the next thing that we didn't like about last year in the hobby is that games seem to have got a little bit too complex, right? They seem to be longer than they used to. Do you remember a few years ago when there was that golden age of board gaming bullshit floating around? Games would take about an hour and a half or so, and they'd be a little bit more easier to grasp. Yeah, you get a rule book that would tell you this is how you're going to play the game, take you through all the steps, yeah, blah blah blah, bish bosh bang, done, right? Now you've got games that don't even guide you through the rules. I mean, let's use Voidfall as an example. It's got like 3 rule books. Okay, one of them's a glossary, but still a rule book, yeah, and it doesn't tell you how to play the game straight away. You've got to go through this fucking stupid tutorial, leave some fucking rules out of that, and then you've got to refer to this compendium thing, and it's almost like the game is trying to be too smart for its own good. It's like deliberately trolling you, making you feel like you're a fucking stupid twat. So that's not fun, is it? Board games are meant to be fun. You're not meant to feel like you're going to work as a fucking accountant learning the rules for this shit, yeah? I mean, I'm not scared of heavy games. There's plenty of games in this room that are very, very complicated, and eventually you get round to it, but it just seems like there's this competition between designers to be the fucking Albert Einstein of the board gaming industry. And in my book, they just end up making themselves look like a bunch of cunts. So the next thing that we didn't like, well, actually, we ended up liking it, but we didn't like about last year is that we ended up getting banned from the Premier Buy Sell Trade Facebook group, yeah. At the time, I had no idea why I was banned from it, because they just shut you out. They don't give you any reason. They just throw you into the sea and then tell you to fuck off. But a couple of friends of mine infiltrated the group, and they found out it was to do with me posting my top 10 board games that gave me a semi video. Yeah, and it appears that the people that run it claim that it was to do with self-promotion or something, but I reckon it was to do with the fact that the thumbnail showed me with a big fucking root on, and they couldn't handle the size of my cock. So we ended up getting banned from that, just like we got banned for Board Game Geek, because it seems that, again, there's people in the industry that A, can't take a joke, and B, just can't take a bit of self-deprecation, yeah? So fuck them. So the final thing that we liked about last year is that, leading on from the last point, is that there was a group of people that tried to get me reinstated. It was the first bit of solidarity that I'd experienced in the board gaming community, right? Some people wanted to know why I had been banned from that stupid Facebook group, and they launched a mini campaign to try and get me reinstated, but it came to nothing. Probably because, again, they're envious of the size of my penis. So yeah, it's just nice to know that there are certain groups of people out there that don't put up with the bullshit that is being fed to people through social media and through different community channels, yeah? Do yourself a favour, ignore all the bullshit, think for yourself, come to your own conclusions, and stand by them, right? So where are we going to take this channel in the next year? If you're talking about subscribers, like, let's say for like 30,000, yeah? Because we sort of doubled our subscriber base this year, so let's say we'll get to 30,000 by the end of next year, yeah? Which is no mean feat, because board gaming is a niche industry, it is a niche interest, and there is a limit to the amount of sad bastards that are going to watch this shit, yeah? We're going to try and get to a convention. We're going to gate crash maybe a local one. We might end up burning down the UK Games Expo if we can get to it, if work doesn't get in the way. So hopefully we will see you there. And finally, we are going to aim to play Twilight Imperium 4. It's a very difficult game to get to the table, because we like to play it with 6 players, and getting everybody into the same room for a whole day is very, very difficult for us. We managed it last year, and it's on my to-do list this year. So with that said, Happy New Year to all of you mugs. Thank you very much for watching this bullshit channel. Keep an eye out for my top 10 games of 2023. That will be along shortly, and we're going to continue to give you the most honest and brutal reviews that any board game reviewer will ever give you, right? So Happy New Year to you and your family, and you can fuck off now.